Good morning from Michigan. What's going on, everybody? It was a rough week, to say the least. Back-to-back losses for the first time this season, and some form that you feel like, man, we haven't seen that in a while, especially with Harry Kane and Heung-min Son playing up top. You feel like, man, that we're bound to score goals. We're not going to get a lot of chances, just the way that Jose sets up. But man, it was so disappointing, not even getting a lot of chances against Leicester. But we're going to get to all that in just a minute. I'm really excited for the show today. We've got so much planned. Just to tell you a little bit about what's coming up, we've got a couple conversations about the Liverpool game, share my hopes going into it, talk a little bit more about just everything that happened with Stevie B, Jose's comments, and then we'll also get to some Discord comments and things. And I'm excited to have the Irish Yid and Matt Hayes. Today they're going to be our live callers, and we're going to be testing out some video stuff. So fingers crossed that it works. It's going to be all new today. And then, yeah, we're going to talk about the Leicester match as well. I want to talk about Serge Aurier and Jose's refusal to put blame on him. It's I don't know. It's just it's not great, but we'll see what happens in that kind of a conversation. And then lastly, we're going to end with some trivia, which I'm super excited about. I've been putting this Tottenham trivia together. We've got a leaderboard. Actually, let me show you this Tottenham leaderboard. Let's see here. Boom. This is an example of what our leaderboard looks like. And just imagine your name in that top spot. Different points for different questions. The first 7 questions will be worth 1 point each, and then there will be the last 3 questions will be worth 3 points. We've even got a bonus question today, so I hope you're excited. I hope you'll stick around. That'll be closer to the end of the show, and we are just going to have an awesome time. I'm super, super excited. So let me just first share with you some questions that I have for you, and you can get into the live chat right now and share what you think about this. These are the questions that I've had, and if you're not watching live, please get in those comments and share your answers. We've got these 2 questions, and we'll have a couple a little bit later on in the show, but these are the ones. We need, this is something I saw on Twitter. Okay, someone said this on Twitter, and I would love to hear from you. We had some people on Discord share some of their thoughts. I'm excited to share those. But this is what they said. We need a big transfer window next month. 3 signings minimum if we are serious, including a competent right back and another, spelled wrong, another workhorse midfielder. Do you agree or disagree, and why? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And then the second question is this. Were you expecting to win at Anfield? Or was it just because we had the chances to win it that made that loss disappointing? I felt like it was the loss against Liverpool was disappointing because I felt like we were so close. But that's just my opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in those comments down below or in the live comments right now. So let's kick things off. Going into Anfield, we drew against Palace, and I felt like I had hope. Darn it, we had hope. And we were top of the table. I felt like we were in a pretty good run of form. You were looking at all of our different games against the top 6, and we were holding our own. And I was almost thinking about how we did against Manchester United away and thinking, man, obviously I don't see Liverpool allowing us to score 6 goals against them, although Aston Villa did, but that was away for Liverpool. But I felt like, man, this could be a moment, a time for us to let everyone know what we're about. And I think we did. We kind of let everybody know what we're about. And I hate saying it like that, but I feel like it's just a frustrating moment because there was a couple moments where you felt like Steven Bergwijn really could have put it in the back of the net, or he could have dished it off and someone else could have put it in the back of the net, but it didn't happen. But I want to say this, in having some conversations on Discord, look, Stevie definitely had a bad game, but there was some, from what I heard, people were just mistreating him on Instagram, and that just bugs me. I feel like, it doesn't matter how rich you are, how famous you are. whether you're a football player or not. I just don't feel like people deserve to be treated like that. So, yeah, I felt bad for him in that way. He's still figuring out this new system under Jose Mourinho. I believe Jose even said himself that this was not somebody that he would have initially picked to be part of his squad, but Spurs brought him in, and man, it just feels like he's working so hard to get into this side. And so yeah, he had a bad game. Really a kind of an unlucky hit of the post. I felt like that could have gone anywhere, and of course it came straight back out. But yeah, and then the other part of this too that just kind of bugs me is that Liverpool went on and just destroyed Palace, right? We drew with them 1-1. They destroyed them 7-0. And yeah, my question for you is this. Do you feel like that shows the difference between our two sides right now? I mean, I know we were at the top of the table for a couple weekends, but I mean, we knew how close that table was, just so close. The points difference between 1 and 5, 1 and 6 is obviously just razor thin because here we are in fifth. So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think that, yeah, we're just still fighting for that top four, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And it was fun to be at the top for a little bit, but it's really not going to happen. But yeah, I would love to hear from you. So let me share a little bit of the Discord thoughts. But before I do that, let me go to the chat, hear what some people have to say, asking about the quiz. Actually, the quiz is going to be live right here. You're going to answer in the chat, and that's how I know who's going to answer first, because your name's going to pop up first, and then you'll get the points. So stay right here. That's how the quiz will work. It'll be a little trivia at the end. Hey, I see that, Liverpool fan from Michigan. Good to see you, my friend. Happy that you're here. Sad that we lost. Let's see. Giovanni LC, your thoughts on Bale? Man seems to be taking forever to come back to full match fitness. Yeah. I'll talk about him a little bit right now. I feel like it is taking him a long time, but you have to understand, right? His age, he's not been playing. The man's been playing golf. The man was iced out of a side in Real Madrid where you feel like it got to a point where I don't even know, his heart just didn't seem to be in it. And so seeing him having fun again at Tottenham, I think that's a huge first step. But that's like part of the mental thing, is having fun again. But I think he needs to find that drive in him again, and push his body, push himself to get back to those top levels. I mean, what do I know? I'm just, a mid-sized Tony from Michigan, right? So like I don't know anything at all about trying to get back into full fitness, but I feel like he's just struggling a little bit. It'll happen, but I think that's part of the reason why we saw Levy make this a loan with a second year option. And hopefully by the end of the season, he'll really, find his full form, and he'll get back to being himself again. So let me get to these Discord comments, because I want to make sure I get these in before we go to our live guests. So Ryan from Bangladesh, after the game, the first thing they had to say was, "I'm too disappointed. I can cry." Rob from Michigan said this. He said, "All I figured out today is that I don't think I'm emotionally capable for a title challenge." And that is a real question for Spurs fans. Are you emotionally ready for what a title challenge really means? I mean, we struggle with the top four emotions sometimes. And people can go Jose in, Jose out so quickly. But it's going to be a roller coaster. You want to be part of a title challenge, that's going to be a lot more. I think we're a little hoarse, as Jose said. We are not ready for the big race yet. But like I said, videos and videos ago, I feel like top four, a couple trophies, certainly will be a successful season. So that was Rob. And then, so Ravenger from California said this: "I don't think we need a big transfer window in January. Darty is doing okay as a backup right back, and we don't really need another. And also, I think Skip will do well to be Højbjerg's backup." And I've said that before. I feel like I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily recall Skippy in January. I don't know if we can. I haven't really looked into that specifically, but I feel like, man, Skip is doing awesome in the championship, and I would love to bring him back as an understudy to Højbjerg and then get him some game time with the first team. Ravenger goes on. For the second question, I had some questions in the Discord. If you want to be a part of our Discord server, there's a link in the description. I would love for you to be a part of that. Ravenger says, of course, I'm sure no one expected us to win at Anfield because Liverpool is undefeated there. But even Lingard wouldn't have missed the chance Stevie did. Bruh, F's in the chat for Stevie B. That was tough. Ravenger, you always make me smile. You always make me laugh with some of these comments. And then the third question that I had asked, Ravenger says this: I think playing defensively worked against Arsenal and it worked against City because all they care about is possession. That's what Pep did at Barca, and Arteta worked with Pep. But I think Klopp's style is more like high pressing, and I think that worked against our counterattack strategy. I'm not really a professional soccer analyst or anything, so I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but that's just my thoughts. Also, some thoughts I have is it seems like Bergwijn knows he has 0 goals this season and is desperate to get a goal, but I just want to tell him to calm down. And I guess that's going to be it. It was our only chance to beat Liverpool because of all the injuries they have, and we lost. I really hope that it is not the case, but maybe our race for the title is over. So now Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Salah, Sonny, and Mr. Arsenal are all tied with 11 goals. This was back when we played Liverpool. Yes, I do agree with you. I feel like Bergwijn is very much trying to get that first goal, trying to be a part of this, Son Kane partnership that is just on fire right now. But Stevie is, yeah, it's just like anyone else. When you're in a high pressure situation and you're trying to perform, you wanna do yourself proud, right? You want to do the manager proud. And there's no fans in the stands, but that's why I think I'm so disappointed about this stuff on Instagram, because it just feels like the guy's trying. It's not like he's not trying, and so I'm disappointed that people would treat him that way. But anyway, let's continue. I'll get to the chat in just a second. I want to get to Regina from Discord. Regina said this, Regina from South Africa: for the right back position, we are okay for now. As for Aurier, as Aurier has been excellent. Oh man, this was just after Liverpool, and we have so much to talk about in terms of his penalty. All right, Doherty needs to relearn how to be a right back. He's a decent player to have as a second choice. It probably would be a good idea to bring in another workhorse midfielder who's able to fulfill the role of Sissoko and Højbjerg if either one is injured, because at the moment, I don't think Winksy is able to fulfill that role. Completely agree. I don't think Winksy, I've said this before, I think Winksy leaves in the summer. I don't think he leaves in January. I would love for him to still be a part of this squad. I mean, he's homegrown. It's hard to get rid of a homegrown player. But if he sticks with us, I would love for him to get a trophy with us, and then all the best to him in his career. But I just feel like Spurs have taken that next step, and kind of like a Ryan Mason or Nabil Bentaleb or something like that. Like these guys that come through the academy, I love them to death. I want them to succeed, but I feel like it probably would be better for him to take that next step in his career. Regina continues: before the game, I would have taken a point any day. During the game, I grew in confidence that we might actually go on to win the game due to the big chances created, 4 compared to Liverpool's 0 at that point. After the game, I felt gutted that we lost, especially in the manner in which it happened. A bullet header in stoppage time. Fun fact: before the match, Firmino hadn't scored in 7 games. I don't know if that's a fun fact, Regina. But thanks for sharing. And yes, of course, his dry spell had to be broken against us, didn't it? Yes, unfortunately, it did happen that way. Yeah, I still think in Mourinho we trust because of all we've seen, his tactics, analyzing opponents. So the knowledge like that against the likes of Crystal Palace, to sit back and soak up pressure and hit teams on the counter. He would have coached the players on how to play effectively when we have most of the possession and how to play on the front foot. We saw the team play decently well in the first half against Palace with most of the possession, and against Liverpool, we did well to nullify the chances they tried to create. So with the players we have, there's enough quality to adapt and do well in both styles of play. I really agree with you on this, and that's why I think I'm so confused as to why we continue to seem to play one style of play. right? We have the creativity, we have the technical ability to be able to keep possession and hold on to possession. And yet at times it just feels like, man, that is such a frustrating thing to continue to see us sit back against all types of teams. So we'll have to see what happens in the future. Let me go to the chat here really quick, and then we got a quick audio, and then we're going to invite our live guests onto the show. I'm super excited for that. Let's see here. As a Liverpool fan, Spurs were better on paper. Halftime adjustments was Liverpool to win, and Spurs hoped to counter for a draw or a hopeful win. Game was taken to Spurs. I agree with that. I feel like, yeah, especially when you see it happening in the last minute, and it was on a set piece. That's so frustrating to continue to see set pieces take points away from us. Yes, Thomas Nation, you basically have to answer the questions in the chat. You're correct. Bale at least needs to start showing something in Europa at least. One goal is all I ask. I think he has one goal. But yeah, I would love for him to start doing his wonderful things. You know, that first time he got out there and he made some of those moves, you felt like, oh my goodness, here we go. But then, yeah, it's been a little bit of a pause. Hello, Holly. Good evening. Hey, Holly, I don't know what you're up to next Monday, but we should have you on the show. I don't know if you're free. Okay, I gave Serge so much praise, and I feel like I jinxed him. I don't think you jinxed him, but yeah, I was Serge's biggest critic and just started to trust in him. He goes and he bobs someone in the back in the box. The Holly. Oh, man, I'm afraid to say your last name. Agambar? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe I said that wrong. We'll get it right one day. Matt says, can you start praising Liverpool and hope the curse continues? Yes, please. Please do. Matt, I'm so excited to have you on in just a few minutes. All right, let's see. Awesome. That's surely the title wrapped up then. I think it's 99% of Spurs fans think have that curse. Yeah, I mean, this is part of it is like, you get excited, right? You start to see what could be. You start to see that top of the table. You're looking down. There's 15 spots between you and that other North London club. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot going on here. Let me get to this audio that was sent in by Techno on Liverpool. It's a little bit long. We won't be able to listen to the whole thing, so we'll listen to just the first part. Here's what Techno from the UK had to say.
So what I think about the Liverpool game, I think we should have won that game, and yeah, we had three big killer chances
Yep.
and we didn't take them. Bergwijn missed two and Kane
Yeah.
missed one, and one of
Yes.
Bergwijn's shot hit the post, and the first one I don't know what he went to do. He hit it with outside of his boot. He tried to open, I think, and yeah, and we messed up our chances.
Yeah.
Then
Well, that's the hardest part is that we had the chances. And the way that Jose plays is you have to take those chances. If you miss those chances, it's over. I mean, we play on the counter. We let them have the ball. And I'm thinking about doing a video. Alex, who has been on our Discord, he's been on the show before. Alex was talking about like the 7 principles of Jose's style of management and play for the teams that he manages, and a lot of it is giving possession to the opposing team because then they have the opportunity to make the mistakes. Well, the problem is if you don't have the ball, I mean, you're gonna have to score an own goal to be able to get goals. So I understand it to a certain extent, but against teams that are like Liverpool, it seems like it's going to be really tough to score goals. We'll continue, Techno.
Kane's header, I don't know what he was meant to do. I think he mistimed it. He hit the ball too hard. I think if he mistimed it, he shouldn't have hit the ball too hard. If he hit the ball lightly, it would have bounced lightly and just went in.
Yeah,
Was Allison was rooted onto the ground. He just didn't know how quick it happened. So yeah, and if Kane scored, that would have been 2-1 up. We would have parked the bus and would have gone Regulon and Rodon on forward 6 at the back and would have won
yeah,
the game.
yeah. I mean, it would have been awesome, but unfortunately, that's the thing. Like I said, Harry. It's kind of like with Hugo when Hugo made his mistake against Palace and it ended up in the back of the net. You feel like Hugo, World Cup winning, amazing goalkeeper. He's so good most of the time. He makes one mistake in 12 games, and you say, okay, you hold your hands up. It's a bummer that it happened when it happened. You'd rather have that happen, when we were up by 6 against Manchester United, but instead it happens here. You get a 1-1 draw, and you walk away with only 1 point. So again, Harry Kane, right? The guy, he is amazing, and I love watching him this year. His passes are amazing. His goals are amazing. And so, yeah, so he mistimes the header, just, slams it right into the ground. And it's an easy save for Allison. So we're going to get to our live callers, so don't go anywhere. It's going to be about 10, 15 seconds, and we will be right back. Also, get into the questions and answer some of those questions. Would you take anybody in the January transfer window? Let me know in the comments. All right, we are live with Matt from Matt Hayes Tottenham blog and David, the Irish Yid. So glad to have you both. Real quick, let me just plug this channel. Matt Hayes, I just want to say how thankful I am for this guy really quickly. Let me just show this. Just passed 4,000 subscribers. So exciting. Going on to 5, I'm sure, and quickly, the new year is quickly approaching. So make sure, if you haven't already, go and sub to his channel. Thanks so much for having me at the very beginning when I was just a new guy out here, just trying to figure out the YouTubes. And yeah, so glad to have you on my show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure to have you on my show, and it's a pleasure to be on here as well. This is a live stream I always tune into when I have the chance. I love the format, I love the presentation, everything. It's a great show. So glad to be on it.
Yeah, thank you. And David, we're here. We're talking again. You were our first ever live caller. Now we're here seeing you face to face. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very good. Again, thanks for having me, and I'm sure you'll be on my channel very soon as well. So
awesome. Yeah, I would love to do it. So, guys, I want to get your quick thoughts about Liverpool. Then we'll transfer and talk about Leicester. Do you blame Stevie B or do you blame the team? Do you feel like it's just missing those chances that he should have taken, or is it a whole team effort? Matt, we'll start with you.
I think. I don't know if I'd blame Steven Bergwijn, but I kind of would in a roundabout way. Like, I don't want to say it, but it almost is the case. In the style of football that we play, you have to take your chances. It's as simple as that. And look, Harry Kane missed a gilt-edged opportunity as well. He had that header from the corner, which he should have put away. I think I'd say it's one clear-cut chance each. I think Bergwijn's first chance, Trent is putting him under a lot of pressure. It wasn't as easy as the second one. Look, there was an element of tough luck when the way he came back off the post, but at the end of the day, he still missed the chance. I think the team played almost perfectly.
Yeah.
Jose came out and said the best team lost. I do agree with that, and I know it's a very controversial statement, and it's causing a lot of strife among the Tottenham fan base at the moment. But like I said we did a post-match show on my channel straight after the game, and I said it before Jose Mourinho did. I think we deserve to win. We played fantastically. From an opposition fan, it's looking at us parking the bus and saying, "Oh, well, you got lucky. You only lost by 1 because you're playing defensive football." But it's much more than that.
Yeah.
It was a game plan. It's a philosophy. There's principles behind absolutely everything that was done on that pitch, and our game plan up until the 89th minute worked to absolute perfection. I think it's hard to say that we didn't deserve to win that game, because I really do think we did.
Yeah, and I think that's, to me personally, that's what made it so tough. Had they scored in the 60th minute, and it had been like, okay, well, bummer, but to have it right at the death, we were so close to getting any points at all, to get no points. Such a bummer. David, what about you? Do you feel like the better team lost, or do you feel like the better team won?
No, I'm in the same camp as Matt, to be honest with you. Look, in the big games, the way we play, it went perfect. The game plan was perfection. Yeah. It's just the same thing that you've seen that's cost us so far this season. You look back to the Palace game and Newcastle game, even the West Ham game. It's not killing teams off and taking the chances when they present themselves. And you've seen the same happen to Liverpool. Like, the thing is, we could be sitting here absolutely praising Mourinho right now on the team, because let's be honest, we should have bet Liverpool. We had the better chances.
Yeah.
Again, it's just not being clinical in front of goals.
Yep. Yeah, and I struggled in the moment to agree with Jose, because I felt like the better team would put those away. You know what I mean? The better team would make those chances count, and we didn't. And part of me, after seeing them just absolutely destroy Palace on the weekend, I don't. Part of me feels like there does show that level of class. They know what they're doing. They've been with Klopp for years now. But I also think that, unfortunately, Liverpool found their footing against us. Like, they got that little bit of luck that got them over the line. We were top, they were second, and now they're back on top. And I just feel like now they're going to take it and run with it. And we know they can go game after game after game without losing any points. So it's going to be interesting. I've got a question from Discord for the two of you. This is Jinty from Scotland. He says this: I don't even want to think about that game. All I want to say is the tactics looked wrong. This is talking about Leicester as well. And so the players looked like they didn't know what to do. There were poor long balls, crosses constantly. My question for you is, does Jose's style of play not fit having Lo Celso and Ndombele on at the same time? And so, yeah, let me just ask you, Matt, do you feel like, because it seems like when the two of them are on, especially with Højbjerg, it's like that perfect midfield three, but it doesn't seem to work out. What do you think?
It's a really tough one, because I know Tottenham fans have been calling for so long to have the two of them in the team together. And I think when Ndombele was brought in, obviously it was back with Pochettino, not Mourinho. He was brought in to be kind of a defensive midfielder. I think, in my opinion, it was looking at him as being a replacement for Moussa Dembele, which of course isn't the case, and he's becoming this really crucial attacking midfielder for us. We saw it in the Europa League. Was it against Ludogorets? I can't remember who it was against anybody. In the Europa League, we saw the two of them together. It didn't work out.
I believe
yesterday
against Lask, but
against Lask, yesterday it was a weird one, because like me and David have been talking about this for a while. We think Celso on the right hand side is potentially an option, and for the majority of the game, I do think he was out wide. But it was such a weird thing, because our formation never really seemed actually set in stone. It was kind of like almost we knew the formation that we wanted to play, but whatever player was nearest to whatever position would fill into it at that time. We've seen kind of consistently in the last couple of weeks, it was Ndombele and Kane in a front two, out of possession of 4-4-2. But yesterday, sometimes it was Ndombele and Kane, sometimes it was Kane and Son, it was Kane and Lo Celso. I think there was just a lot of disparity and a lack of cohesion in that team yesterday, which is of course really concerning. But the two of them together on paper, it's absolutely sensational. It should work perfectly. They should complement each other so well. But I think just maybe with this kind of the change in style of the way Ndombele is playing, the way he's kind of now the man picking up the space between the lines, maybe there's just a kind of clash of style of play there with the two of them, which is really upsetting. But I think for now, Højbjerg, Sissoko, and Ndombele is probably our best midfield.
David, what about you? Do you feel like, having the two of them on there, they're trying to kind of do maybe similar things and exposes a big weakness? What are your thoughts?
For me, first of all, the reason why we play with Højbjerg and Sissoko and one of the two is because, look, let's face it, on paper, our defenders aren't good enough. So the reason why we have Højbjerg and Sissoko in front of them is to work hard. And it does make the defenders look better. And for me, look, Lo Celso and Ndombele, like Matty was saying, it looks good on paper, but when we have the two of them in midfield, it just doesn't work. They don't work hard enough for it to work. For me, now, I'm kind of at the opinion where I'd switch to a 4-2-3-1. I'd play Harry Kane in the centre attacking midfield and put Vinicius up front. We have to try something different, because this tactics is sitting back against the I want to be respectful, but the lesser teams. It's just not flying. And to be honest with you, looking at the game yesterday, I don't even think the players are starting to believe in it against these sort of teams either.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought there at the end, because I still think I think they trust Jose. I think they're just trying to figure out what to do. Like, I don't know. It seems like they've been so set up, like you said, to just defend. Everybody work hard, defend. And then when you don't have somebody do that, like Ndombele, Lo Celso, somebody doesn't really track back. It exposes so much. And part of this too, and we'll talk about Leicester right now. The one of the most frustrating things was, well, twofold for me. And I hate saying this, but so I've been backing Lo Celso, but I feel like he's starting to let me down. There are times when he just seems to be like Lamella. And I love Lamella. Like, he's chippy, right? He's like getting these fouls and frustrating opponents and all these different things. But then, like, he'll take some touches and then he'll go to ground and we lose the ball. If he doesn't get the foul, what are we doing? We're just kind of like losing the ball, losing possession. So I'm struggling a little bit with Giovanni Lo Celso. I feel like Ndombele is playing so well. He's being able to carve up a lot of these midfields that are trying to press us really tough, and he just finds a way to get through. But so I'm starting to be frustrated with Gio. The other thing that really I'm getting tired of seeing, not only Serge Aurier giving away a bad penalty, but Serge Aurier pushing up so high and Sissoko coming back, because that's what happened on the own goal with Vardy. It's Sissoko making this run all the way back to the 6, and he just doesn't look comfortable. He's looking at that ball like, I don't know if he thinks he's gonna head it or he's waiting for contact or whatever it was, but yeah, I'm kind of tired of seeing that. But at the same time, if we're gonna have them running down the flanks, then someone's got to move into those spaces. So yeah, Matt, I want to ask you, like, do you think that it's time to start figuring something out with Serge? Like, I mean, he's been playing so well. I've been trying to give him a lot of credit this year. But man, to just boulder into somebody like that, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, it's a big concern, because it's the main thing we've been saying about him this season in terms of his improvement. You know, he's taken this rash, I'm going to call it idiotic side of his game out, because you know, in the past he's given away stupid penalties, he's gotten stupid red cards, but he's been so composed this season. And I know we lost the game on Wednesday, but I think this comes off the back of his best performance in a Spurs shirt. You know, keeping Mane in his pocket. He won 10 tackles in that game against Liverpool, which is the most of any player in a Premier League game this season, against one of the best wingers in the Premier League. So it was an outstanding performance from him. I think in terms of Sissoko kind of dropping behind him and covering those spaces, I think, you know, if you do have to pick one of them to go forward, I personally will pick Serge Aurier, because he's, you know, fullback. He has that better, he's a better whip into the box. But it's a great point you make about you know, Sissoko being the man at the back post for that goal, because even just as you said that, I remember a few points off the top of my head when Aurier defended those situations really, really well. I don't think it was against Vardy, but there were one or two where he did the exact same as Sissoko, in that he didn't try and win the ball, but he made sure his opponent didn't, and he did it perfectly. Whereas Sissoko did it horribly, and of course it ended up with the ball in the back of the net. But look, I'm a fan of Aurier, and I know there's going to be a lot of fans who, you know, at this moment are going to be going into, you know, I call it my own video, they're going into meltdown, and they're straight away putting it on Sergio Aurier, because he's done this so often in the past and he's done it now again, so let's forget this period of 3 months where he's been outstanding and has been a great player for us. Which I think is a bit harsh on him. And I just want to touch as well on what you were saying about Lamella. I think we miss him massively. We really, really do, because he was such an important player for us earlier in the season. I can't wait to have him back.
Totally. Yeah, and actually, to go to your point, David, what you were talking about the players, we actually had this question come in as well. Regina from South Africa said, based on the recent results, do you think certain players, maybe not all of them, but certain players are starting to lose faith in the Mourinho way and his style of play? Are they unable to implement his tactics, or is Mourinho wrong? Because Mourinho has said sometimes, I tell them to do one thing, and then they go out and do something different. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think they're unable to do it? Do you think they're just not trusting him, and so they're doing their own thing? Let me know.
No, look. Let's be honest about this, right? These are the same tactics we praised up until before the Palace game, because we were top of the league. And for me, look, the players are clearly able to do it. It's just the same thing we've seen time and time again over the years, especially some of the players that have been there since the Poch era. They're just not capable of taking on instructions. They're just not capable, and that's the problem. That is the biggest problem. I just want to touch on a couple of points there as well, the Lo Celso thing. I do agree with you. Fully agree with you. Like, for me, everyone, he looked great in Europa League. But, you know, I'm overweight and I could look good in Europa League. Do you know what I mean? Against some of the teams we play. Let's be honest. And since he's come into the first 11, like, Mourinho's trying to get him in there. He just hasn't done enough for us. He just hasn't done enough for us. He has let us down. Like, against Liverpool, he was shambolic. He deserved to come off. He deserved to come off. He just didn't fit in Jose's tactics. And on the Aurier thing as well, like, look, moment of madness, like Matty said, idiotic. But at the end of the day, the guy has put in a very good campaign so far. So let's not all overreact on him. And I do agree with it. Just for me yesterday, like, there are certain players that are just looking fed up of of suffering in games and doing the defensive work.
Yeah.
For me, Harry Kane is one. You look at him against Liverpool. You look at him yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not good enough for me. It just looks like he wants something different. They're calling for something different now. They're fed up with suffering because, as we know, in a Mourinho team, players have to suffer for 90 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I think you might be right on that. I do not think it's all of them. I think some of them are hitting their stride in this way, like Dyer,
Yeah.
Toby,
Mm-hmm.
right? These two guys, I trust them in the back, which is a great feeling. You
It's
know?
a weird feeling.
It is a very weird feeling, but I trust them when they're in the backfield. I do feel like Sonny and Harry, they're scoring like crazy. That's the thing that's hard to disagree with, because you feel like,
Yeah.
yes, they're not playing the style that they used to play under Poch, but they're getting the goals and they're getting the assists as well. So you would imagine if it was an argument in the dressing room, it would be really hard to argue against what the production is, because especially with these guys' contracts, right? They get bonuses for goals. I don't know if they get bonuses for assists, but they're going to be happy with the amount of goals that they're getting already, and we're not even halfway through the season. So, yeah, the other question I had for you, David, we'll start with you on this one. They started poorly again, and I feel like, whose fault is that? Is that the players' fault? Is that Jose's fault? Especially off the back of a loss to Liverpool, I would have expected more from that first 10 minutes against Leicester.
Yeah, look, this is the reason why yesterday's result was so hard to take, is because they just didn't show up. Let's be honest about it. They just didn't show up. It was a bad day at the office. Yep. It's been a bad week.
Yeah.
They just didn't show up. For me, to be honest with you, they look tired. Yeah. They look tired. I think the early stages of Europa League might be catching up on them. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, as well, it's a hard one, because it's not really an excuse. Like, these are the same players that are coming out in the press saying, "Oh, we might have to leave Tottenham because we want to win trophies." Yeah. But at the end of the day, we've given them a chance to win trophies. We had a League Cup under Mourinho or Pochettino. Mm-hmm. We lost in the final. Yeah. With the Champions League, there's no bigger stage to go and win a trophy. Yeah. We didn't get over the line. And how many semi-finals and league ones have we tailed off? Yeah, totally. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it has to be down to the players. It's down to the players and their mentality. Yeah. Like, the thing is, you look at Liverpool, their squad is stretched. They're playing with some young lads. Yeah. And they still have a cohesive unit, the mentality to get over the line. Yeah. We don't. Nope. We don't. That's what hurts.
Yep. Yeah, it does hurt. And I feel like, do you think it's a hangover, Matt? Do you feel like, you're top of the league, you're against Liverpool, you're away at Anfield, you got all these high hopes, they're dashed in the last minute. Do you think it's like a little bit of a hangover against Leicester, even though it's at home?
Mm-hmm. I definitely do. And again, it's kind of something I touched on in my own video. It's no coincidence that Liverpool have now gone and got their best result of the season, while we get arguably our worst result of the season after that game on Wednesday, because we knew straight away the effect it was going to have on the Premier League table. First of all, with Liverpool going 3 points clear of us. Yep. But I think I definitely at the time underestimated the mental effect this could have, because as you mentioned, it's so difficult to take with that last minute goal. Yep. It's the worst way we could possibly win that game, given the chances we missed as well. Mm-hmm. And there's definitely going to be some sort of mental effect, and it's just it depends on how quickly Jose Mourinho can turn that around. And I don't think his comments after the game yesterday helped, when he kind of again sort of went with the best team lost yesterday. Yeah, they didn't. No. The best team won 2-0 without any doubt. We just weren't at it. We weren't good enough, and I think we do have to cut some slack in that, like, towards the players, in that we went out there, and I don't think we went out to park the bus as much as we have in recent games. Mm-hmm. But we didn't want possession, which again, look, is fine. It's the way we play, but I think we do have to have a willingness and an ability to adapt to whatever opponent we were coming up against. Right. And Leicester were coming there, and they didn't want the ball either. They wanted to catch us on the counter-attack as well. And it ended up in a situation where neither team wanted the ball, but one of them had to have it. And we ended up having the majority of the ball, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And because we had set up to not do that, we didn't seem to know what to do. And I don't know if it's a lack of plan B from Jose Mourinho, or if Leicester just counteracted our plan B enough. I don't really know what it was. Yeah. But whatever it was, it just wasn't good enough. And adding that to, as you were saying, the hangover from the players, it was just a recipe for disaster. And unfortunately, we came out of there with no points.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like, Jose is known for like making subs like he did at halftime, right? He brings on Gareth Bale, but I feel like it's not the players sometimes it's the system. It's how we're playing. It's not just replacing, a like for like. He talked about trying to bring on Winksy, even though he didn't do what he was hoping for because he could move the ball better. But I just feel a little disappointed in that, and we'll see. Jose's always talking about evolving, and we'll see how he evolves, especially around this new January transfer window coming up. And I wanted to talk about that with you guys as well. Do you, I'll start with Matt. Do you think that we make a decent splash in January? I know from the Amazon documentary they said it's the worst time to try to get into the market, but yeah, what do you think happens in January?
I think we dip into the market, and I think we have to. There's a lot of talk of an attacking midfielder, and now Fabrizio Romano has said last week that there's a very high chance Dele Alli will be leaving Spurs. So I think because Ali has in the last couple of weeks kind of crept back into our plans in the league, he's made 2 sub appearances. He's been a regular in the Europa League.
Yep.
I think because of that we kind of do have to replace him. I don't think it has to be a massive signing. Dominic Szoboszlai is a player we were looking at. He's now gone to Leipzig. I think Marcel Sabitzer, there's another few reports today about Marcel Sabitzer kind of coming from unreliable sources, but they're creeping back into the media. So I think we could be looking at an attacking midfielder, and I think a centre-back as well may also be an option. Jose Mourinho wants a pacey left-footed centre-back, which isn't Milan Skriniar, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of fantastic left-footed centre-backs out there.
Yeah.
So I think Tottenham will go into the window. Whether or not we have a successful window remains to be seen, because for any team, the January window is difficult, and adding the the current global climate at the moment, it makes it even harder. But I think we have to look at it.
Yeah, for sure. David, if you could have Christmas right now, you could say anyone leaves, anyone comes, but you can only have one come in, and you can have as many leave as you want. Who would you send away, and who would you bring in?
Oh, well, look, if anyone watches my channel, other channels have gone, it's no secret. The first one out the door is Harry Winks. Homegrown is no reason to keep the guy. At the end of the day, he's just not good enough. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's stop making excuses for players that aren't good enough. This is why we don't win anything.
Yeah.
Look, Ben Davies, 7 years at the club, still failed to nail down the starting left-back position. It's unheard of at any other club. Davinson Sanchez, look, he's just not good enough. Mourinho targeted him in UEFA Cup, in the Europa Cup final that time when United play Ajax. So Mourinho has no plans for him.
Yeah.
Them guys have to go.
Okay.
For me, I'm even starting to consider Lucas Moura and sending Bale back, because Bale rather be on the golf course at the minute. That's what it's looking like. For me, coming in, I'd love to get Sabitzer in. When we played Leipzig in the Champions League, he was the best player on the pitch. I watched Leipzig a few times, and he always has an impact. Centre backs, it's a hard one. Look, I would like to see us go and get Skriniar, but like Matty said, we need a left-sided centre back with a bit of pace as well.
Yeah.
And I'd probably go and get Leon Bailey maybe, because we were linked with him last summer. I do think it's achievable. We just need someone who can play on the right with more output.
Yeah.
Would
you send Danny Rose away? Just kidding.
Oh yeah, of course. To be honest,
I'm joking.
I forgot all about him.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The reason why Danny Rose hasn't been sent away is because him and Levy are at loggerheads. Danny Rose came out, talked about the club. Levy was never going to forget that.
No.
Now we could have ripped Danny Rose's contract up and let him go somewhere on a free.
Yeah.
But Levy's not going to give in. Levy's not going to do it for him, especially after the way he's treated Tottenham. And that's why we're in the situation with Danny Rose we are.
Yep. Yeah. Guys, thanks so much for doing this today. It has been such a pleasure to chat with you. I hope to catch you guys again. I'm going to have to get back to some of these other comments that people make, because I just want to honor what they've done and the time they've taken. But thank you as always. And hopefully we can see a win at Stoke. Do you guys have any scoreline predictions before you go? We'll start with you, Matt.
I think we play a strong team against Stoke, and we need a reaction, and they're a championship team who are struggling, so I'm going to go 3-0 Spurs.
3-0. All right. What about you, David?
I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs, just purely because they have the old Northern Ireland manager. We know that he is well capable of grinding out those results, and he plays similar to Mourinho. So it's going to be a very interesting counter. And to be honest, even when we were top of the league, when we got Stoke, I said it's not going to be easy as possible. I'm not 100% confident.
Yeah.
So I just hope my prediction is from then is wrong, and I hope my score prediction is right. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Well, I'll give my prediction at the end of the show. I don't want to give it away right now, but guys, thank you so much, and we'll check in with you another time.
Thanks very much, Anthony.
Yeah, have a great one. All right. Well, we are so excited to continue chatting. I just want to get to some of these Discord comments, and then in just a minute, we're going to have our first ever. I mean, this is going to be an amazing time. We're going to have our Tottenham trivia. So, Discord thoughts about the Leicester game really quickly. Luke from Michigan. If you had told us in September that by Christmas we'd be battling for every trophy still and in and around the top four, you'd take that. And I completely agree. I think Luke has a level head. I think we would have been super happy to be in and around the top four, still battling for all our cups. So I agree with you there. Rob, also from Michigan, says, my main thing is that Jose's system makes it so that we have to be perfect in front of goal. We only generate 3 to 5 legit chances a game. So we have to take at least one. And up till a few games ago, Kane and Son had been perfect. It's true. I think they're not just legit chances; they're clear-cut chances, and I think that's what's so frustrating when you miss them. Regina said Leicester deserved to win, mostly because from the get-go they attacked, defending really well against us. We were more on the passive side, waiting for something to happen. Certainly individual performances were not very good, most notably Aurier's unnecessary foul, which led to the penalty, which was disappointing considering how excellent he's been prior to that, and I have to agree with you there. KT from India sent in this audio. We still got a couple spots left on our starting 11. If you send in an audio clip, you're one of the first 11 people. You'll be part of the Discord server role called the starting 11. Here's what KT had to say.
Hi guys, hope all of you are doing well. Well, let me start by saying that it was such a disappointing result today.
Yes.
I was really hoping for a reaction after the midweek Liverpool game. But instead, what I saw was a lackluster performance from the team.
Yeah.
Couple of things I noticed. Firstly, I thought that the intensity was really missing in the performance today. The team did not look sharp. Instead, they looked very leggy and deflated.
Yes.
Do you guys think this has to do with the mentality of the team after a big loss? Another thing I noticed was we seem to have only one plan.
Yep.
With Kane dropping deep and the wingers making forward runs. I think we really need to have a plan B in place.
Yes.
For matches where opponents tightly mark Kane and Son. I also thought clever 1-2s and cutbacks were not being used at all.
Yeah, they didn't happen.
Even when we are not on the offensive.
Yep.
I really hope the team can turn it around for the midweek game against Stoke.
Yes.
Because it is one of the important chances for us to win a cup.
Totally.
That's it from me. Come on, you Spurs.
Hey. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, thanks so much for sending that in, KT. And yeah, I mean, we just talked about it with the guys. There doesn't seem to be a plan B. I do think they were a little leggy. I think they were still, just pretty bummed out about not getting those points against Liverpool. And it showed in those first couple minutes. So thanks so much for sending that in, KT. Now we're going to get to our trivia. I hope you are ready. I don't know if Thomas Nation is right here, but I saw he looked really excited for this. So here is how it's going to work, okay? You're going to have 11 seconds. 11 seconds. This is what the countdown looks like, okay? 11 seconds to get in the chat and say the right answer. If you're the first person to get the right answer, you will get the points, okay? The first 7 questions are worth 1 point each. The last 3 questions are worth 3 points each. And we've got that leaderboard. I think I showed it to you already, but let me show you again. Just imagine your name at the top of that leaderboard. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully you're ready. Here we go. Here's the first question. And then I'll get the countdown going. Here we go. Ready? Harry Kane. First question. Harry Kane has been our top goal scorer since 2014-2015. Who was the last Spurs player to hold that record in 2013-2014? So here you go. 11 seconds. Who was the last player to hold the top goal scorer since Harry Kane? Let's see if anyone gets it in. Anybody? Ooh, I only saw one. And unfortunately, it was not Gareth Bale. And I'm not going to reveal these answers because I feel like we'll just use them again. Jermaine Defoe. It was not Jermaine Defoe. So sorry, guys. We'll keep going forward. So it looks like nobody got the first one. That's all right. We'll keep moving forward here. All right. The next one here we have next question. Name the last 5 managers of Tottenham, starting with the most recent. Name the last 5 managers of Tottenham, starting with the most recent. You can just use, you know, a little abbreviations. Ready? 11 seconds. Go. Last 5 managers, including the most recent. Who can do it? Man, 11 seconds might be too quick for that one. I'll give you 22 seconds. We'll try it again. That's 3. The rest, I have no idea. Oh, man. All right. So we got 3 of the 5. I'll give you 11 more seconds. You know what? Just I'll let you write it out. The first person to get it right, I'll give you like more time. And if you are not watching live, you're just watching this show later, don't answer I mean, you can answer the questions in the comments and share what some of the answers are, but tell me how many you get right. I would love to know. So we got, I think that's it. People just know the 3. Well, we'll leave it at that for now. And we'll go to the next question. Okay, here we are. This one should be a little bit easier. Ready? Sun has a... Wait. Oh. Mauricio Pochettino, Tim Sherwood, Andre Villas-Boas, Harry Redknapp. Oh, you are so close. Okay, you are so close. But I said to start with the current manager. We're going to have to try it again. You're ready for the next time that we ask that question. So disappointing. I know. Sorry about that. We're just lost on a VAR decision. Sorry about that. Okay, next question. Sun has a sponsorship deal with what sportswear and equipment supplier? 11 seconds. Sun has a sponsorship deal with what equipment supplier? Who can do it? Who's got it? I see, oh man. Hey, Regina! Regina got it. It's Adidas. Well done. All right, let me put that in here. So I'm marking these down so that you can get your points. Regina, well done on that one. Okay, here's another one. What number, and this is only 11 seconds because I know you could Google it really quickly. What number is Dane Scarlett this season? What number is Dane Scarlett this season? 11 seconds. Got to get it in quickly. Who's going to get it? 72? Nope. Not 72. And actually, it is not 43. So keep guessing later. Man, we are just moving through these. Here's the next question. Where, oh, this one might be tough, but I think these are fun. Here we go. Countdown's going to get started in just a second. Where is Cameron Carter-Vickers on loan? Where is Cameron Carter-Vickers on loan? Here's the countdown. Hey! Regina again. Well done. He is on loan at Bournemouth. And let's do this as well. What national team does CCV play for? What national team does Cameron Carter-Vickers play for? Got 11 seconds. Yes, he plays for the U.S. Regina is on a roll. Yes, he plays for the U.S. even though he grew up in England. Kind of a new. I mean, I feel for him because he's playing for us. It's going to be rare. So we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. So here's the 7th question, worth 1 point. Okay, Eric Dyer launched an app. What is it called? Eric Dyer launched an app. What is it called? Oh, Regina! Wow, we're out of time, but you got it right. Well done again. It is called Spotless, and it is about food. And I have not downloaded it yet. I would love to know if you have downloaded it. Regina is quick. She is quick. All right, now we are on to the 3-pointers. This is going to be so much fun. These are going to be a little tougher, I believe. So that's why I've made them worth 3 points. Here we go. On their 125th anniversary in 2007, Spurs drew 4-4 with what club? Okay. On their 125th anniversary in 2007, Spurs drew 4-4 with what club? Take a guess. Ooh, ran out of time. Anybody have a guess on this one? Did you Google that? Did you Google it? It's out of time, but now you know it for the next time. All right, and let's ask this question now. Nice. Well, get in on the next time I ask that question. You were just behind the timer. Okay, here we go. This is the second question, worth 3 points. What club did David Ginola play for before joining Spurs in 1997? What club did Ginola play for before joining Spurs in 1997? I'll give you 11 more seconds. Well, no, because you can Google these. I can't do that. Ah, man. Okay, here's the extra. There's one extra question worth 3 points. And this is how you can catch up to Regina, because Regina is so quick. It was not QPR. Here's the extra. How many Tottenham players have scored hat-tricks in the Champions League? How many Tottenham players have scored hat-tricks in the Champions League? 11 seconds. Pick a number. How many players have scored hat-tricks in the Champions League? Oh, Regina! Well done at the last second. It's 3. The answer is 3. Regina, let me know if you know who they are. If you can guess who they are, I'll give you an extra point for each one of those as well. So I'm giving you the 3 points. If you can guess the 3, you'll get more. Jeez, Regina has the Tottenham trivia I'm only going to put one name on here. I'm going to put your guys' name on here. Thomas Nation, I'll put you on here, and Harry Kane as well. We'll make sure to put you on the leaderboard, but Regina is out here. We got to get some more people because she is rocking it. Okay. Yes. All right, Harry Kane, I'll give you Bale, Kane, and Lucas, because that is the answer. I'll give you 1 point because you had enough time to kind of Google that. And I feel like we got to be quick on these things. So I'll give you 1 point for that, Harry Kane. And we'll keep moving forward. We're almost done with the show. Guys, that was so much fun for me. And it was so exciting. So thank you so much for being a part of that. And we're going to probably do this. I don't know if we'll do it every week. You let me know in the comments if you want to do that every week, or we should do that on whatever, the 4th Monday of the month or whatnot. We don't want to do too much of a good thing. You know what I'm talking about? So, all right, let me get back to Stoke on Wednesday, because here's the reality. Like my first thought is we'll win, right? Like we'll win, no big deal. But then my head tells me that I really don't think this is going to be an easy win. The guys we were talking with were talking about, potentially, 2-0, 3-0. I hope. But my head says 2-2. I think we draw and then we go to penalties. And I think we go through on penalties. But I just feel like Jose's going to go strong. But this 2 back-to-back losses, it's going to be tough to have these guys come back from that. And yeah, I think he'll go strong. I think he'll have Kane in there and Son in there and Hugo's in goal and all those different things. But it's going to be a dogfight, and hopefully we can get through to the next round. But to meet Stoke at this time, they'll be excited. They'll be thinking they can take it to us. And like David was saying, I thought that was interesting. They're going to want to win. Their manager knows how to beat these bigger teams maybe, and so that's going to be a difficult test. Then we have Wolves on the weekend away as well. And I don't have a strong feeling yet. But again, and I'm a Spurs fan, okay, at heart. My heart is here. But I'm just being honest. I think it's a draw. I think we draw 2-2. So, yeah, a 2-2 on Stoke, 2-2 against Wolves. And we'll get our scoring again. But I think the confidence is just a little shaky right now. And I don't know if we're going to make it. We're going to lose some more points, I think, before we gain more points. So, Techno, I know you sent something in about potential January transfers, and so we're going to get to you next time. And I would love to hear from you. You know, I've got these questions that I'd like to share. Had 2 questions at the beginning. Here's 2 questions at the end. So one of these questions we talked about with Matt Hayes and David, and go check out their channels. Make sure that you subscribe. They're awesome people. But so the first question we asked then, does Jose's style of play not fit having Lo Celso and Ndombele on at the same time? But this is my question number 4 for you. It's a this or that. You can do one or the other. You can either sell 4 players for top dollar, and who would you sell? Let me know in the comments down below. Or Levy signs 1 player for 50 million. Who would it be and why? So let me know which you would do, this or that. Guys, I'm out of time. This has been so much fun. I really, really appreciate having you on here. I'm showing off all my stuff here. But yeah, so much fun. Glad to be with you and playing some trivia. Hopefully we'll get some more people involved. Regina, you're definitely on the top spot. And as ever, it was great talking with you.